There's a few comments coming into the Q&A panel, so I just want to address those real quick before we get started. If you have a question for Eric, please use the Q&A panel and go ahead and send those in so we can be sure to make sure we see your question and can answer that today. We will get started here in a few more minutes, but thank you for joining. All right, good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and start to kick things off. My name is Kristen Klein. I'm on the marketing team here at Zoom, and thanks for joining us for today's webinar. I want to walk through a few housekeeping items to get everyone ready for the event. So we are recording today's webinar. We will share the recording with anyone who's registered, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. We will also be following up with a blog that summarizes the content and what we go through today. So if you're interested in learning more or reading that, please check our blog later today. I want to also mention we are using the webinar product to host today's event. So you will be on mute and your video is turned off as a participant. Only the host, myself and Eric, and a few other panelists will have their video ability to be turned on. Please send in your questions to that Q&A panel. We are going to get a ton of questions. We're going to do our very best to address and answer as many as possible, but we are hosting this webinar on a weekly basis. So if you didn't get your question answered, please come back and see us next week, and we're happy to continue to have this conversation. Again, thank you for joining us. And Eric, please go ahead and take it away.
Yes, thank you. First of all, thank you all for joining me today. This is our first Zoom weekly webinar. I really appreciate it. So it has been a very busy few weeks, and starting from adding capacity, for several weeks, and we work tirelessly and also fix all the issues, we got. So I want to say thank you so much. So also I'm very happy to talk directly to Zoom users, new and old, valued customers, and everyone else to share the steps taken to further strengthen our platform. First of all, I want to start with how we got here. So Zoom was primarily built for use by our enterprise and business customers over the past several years. But during this global health crisis, where we saw a lot of brand new users and also brand new use cases, such as tens of thousands of K-12 schools all over the world started using Zoom, and also friends, family for the happy hour, and also like even online weddings. We never thought about those use cases before. So usage far surpassed anything we expected. And before this crisis, now the peak time, the daily meeting participant around 10 million. And in March, more than 200 million is really unprecedented usage, and we never expected that. However, we have been working around the clock to ensure all users stay in touch and operational. We also strengthened our commitment to security practices and privacy practices in this process. And we are committing to this in the future as well. So I'd like to start with, what kind of missteps, based on the past several weeks experience. But in our urgency to help, we missed some important things, not thoughtful enough about educating new users on our policies, like how to use Zoom and how to set up security settings. Because it used to be when we work together with the enterprise customers, IT team, they talk with us, because we already have all those built-in security features, they pre-configure those features and help their users to come on board. Also, we do not have very thoughtful enough about some of the features great for enterprise companies, but do not make sense for consumers. Like in the training scenario, the attention tracking feature is very useful for the training scenario, but for the prosumers and the consumers, I think this a conflict with privacy, and we disabled it entirely. So if you ask me, hey, Eric, is Zoom safe or not? With new level of scrutiny, it comes down to these two questions. Is Zoom safe compared to peers? Is Zoom safe for those new consumer user cases? I can tell you, Zoom absolutely safe compared to the peers and also our enterprise customers, because before this crisis, we have so many enterprise customers, top security companies. They all did all kinds of penetration testing, and also we shared our best practice. We built the trust. So again, it's very safe. And also we made lots of changes, like enforcing the meeting password, enforcing the meeting room, disable those the privacy features. For the first time, new consumer use cases. Again, the answer is also yes. Clearly, we have a lot of work to do to ensure the security of all, to handle all those brand new consumer use cases. And because those new use cases, we just started, over the past several weeks. But what I can promise you, we take these issues very, very, very seriously. We are looking into each and every one of them. And when we find an issue, we acknowledge it and we will fix it. Also, we'll be transparent about what we are doing. So I also want to share with you a little bit about what we have done so far. So we have demos and training sessions, tutorials, webinars for new users, and also teach users how they protect the meetings and like password and waiting room. We also updated our privacy policy so everyone can understand, including the K-12, the school teachers. Make sure people they know Zoom. We have never sold user data in the past, and we have no intention to do it. Specifically for K-12 education users, we have special guides and tutorials. We have a dedicated K-12 privacy policy. We changed the default setting as I mentioned earlier, and enable the password and virtual waiting room as well. Also, we disable the screen share by default, meaning only teachers can share the screen. Also, based on face feedback over the past, several weeks, we also fixed other things like removed the Facebook SDK in our iOS client, removed the attention tracking feature, and fixed the Mac installer issue, and also a fix for the Windows UNC link issue, and also removed the LinkedIn Sales Navigator app as well. So, and also clarified the facts about our encryption. And actually, last August, our product for our, the like mobile client, Windows desktop client, we already changed the terminology. We use the Zoom encryption, and however, it's a process problem, and our documentation still uses end-to-end encryption. That's absolutely wrong. That's sorry for the confusion. So given all those issues filled, and last Friday, we also had a report about the China issue. And also want to tell you this issue after we got that report last Friday, that issue was also completely fixed. And I also know many customers concerned about, hey, what had happened? What was said? To be clear, this should have never happened. And this issue was completely addressed last Friday. We already removed all the China targeting servers. But today, I want to leverage this opportunity to explain to you what had happened. Then you will, especially for the security researchers, and you can evaluate the impact. We truly believe impact is very minor. So first of all, I want to share with you, how it should work. So we built a global data center, 17 data centers, and to have a best performance. Say you are joining this meeting from Germany, you talk to the Germany data center. You are joining this meeting from Japan or China. We talk to the local data center, and all those data centers will be connected. This is a global distributed meeting architecture for both best performance. A US attendee tries to connect to 5 US data centers to find the best connection. If there's no any response from those 5 US data centers in 5.5 seconds from those 5 data centers, then we'll try again with the 3 tunneling server. We call it HTTPS tunneling server in the US. And we tried that. If any of them, returned, and we are going to use that. Otherwise, timeout, return an error. So the HTTPS tunneling server that response first will be used to route the connection back to our US data center. And also a unique encryption key is generated for each meeting, only held in the system memory and immediately destroyed at the end of the meeting. So what occurred for a very limited time is if the 5 US data center did not respond to the attempt by the US attendee to join the meeting, then the 3 HTTPS tunneling server in the US plus 1 HTTPS tunneling server in China were pinged. The China HTTPS tunneling server should never have been an option for non-China participants because that's the configuration and the design flaw. In terms of impact, because this is based on the connection failure, it's very random. So I give one example based on the initial analysis in a sample taken in the US meeting participant on April 1st, 2020. Only 37 participants would have connected to the US data center, but instead routed through our China data center, tunneling server, and connected back to our US data center. To put it in context, on that day, we had over 233 million participants worldwide that day. So essentially, those 37 meeting participants, when they join the meeting, suppose they should connect to our US data center, but they were connected to our China data center and then routing back to US data center because of the connection failure. And also our service really cannot determine in advance who will need to utilize the tunneling server. It's very random based on 5 server failed and the pinged HTTPS server. And also no meeting data is left behind or stored in the tunneling server. Also, we know that regarding these 37 participants, we know which custom, which account, and which meeting, and which participant they had a connection failure, and then routed back to our China data center. So by the way, those China data center managed by us, and also we use AWS China, and also use Telstra and Australia Telecom, their facility. So that's I just want to explain what had happened. We have completely removed all China tunneling servers from our infrastructure. I guarantee you this will never happen again. Given our commitment to security, privacy by design, we have very, very, very high confidence this will never happen again. Again, I just want to share with you why we have a global distributed meeting architecture to have to boost the performance. So what we are going to do going forward, we are determined to do better and hold ourselves to be highest standard on security and privacy. So over the next 90 days, we decided to freeze any new features. Entire team will laser focus on privacy and security and conduct a comprehensive review with third-party experts and representative users to understand and ensure the security for all new consumer use cases. And also engaging a series of simultaneous white box penetration tests. Actually, before this crisis, we talked with many enterprise customers and we ran all kinds of penetration testing. So that on that front, we do have high confidence. Also preparing a transparency report that details information related to requests for data, records, and content. And also we are going to double down on our bug bounty program. We have a public bug bounty program, also a private bug bounty program. I really appreciate all the security researchers. Thank you for your help. Please work together with us and submit those. We are going to take it very, very seriously. Also, as you saw from this morning, we launched a Zoom CISO Council, the leading CISOs across the world, and they are going to help us, working together with us. We are going to have open, ongoing dialogue on security and privacy, the best practices. And also, we are very, very happy, very excited to hire Alex Stamos, and widely respected expert on cybersecurity. He was a former chief security officer of Facebook and joined us recently as an outside advisor. So in closing, I want to share with you, transparency is always been a core part of our company, the culture and value. I look forward to these webinars and every Wednesday. And I'm very, very committed. We are very, very committed. And so also want to give you a little bit more update just about today. And we just rolled out a new client update, and please update the latest version. So we added a feature called security, especially for the first time new users. And quite often they do not know where to lock the meeting, how to enable the waiting room, how to disable the private chat or screen sharing, or how to expel a user. We put all those features together and we call it security, really help our customers and to easily navigate through those security features. Okay, with that, thank you all, and thank you, appreciate.